And welcome to Big Apple Hockey. I am your host for today, John Filkowski. Filk, flying solo, as Mark and Anthony are actually en route back home from Las Vegas from the draft weekend. So it's going to be me solo today. Sorry if I'm disappointing anybody with this, but I definitely wanted to get this on here and do a stream because I knew this would be a day that we would have a great stream going. But yeah, this is a big day for the NHL. Obviously, free agent frenzy all over the place. Players changing teams. Thank you, Firestorm, by the way, digging the hat. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's HF Boards has crashed. So Riley Smith for a second, and that's since we're on it right now, we'll go for it. I heard the news that he was traded to the Rangers. I don't mind this deal at all. It's not a bad deal. He's still a pretty good player. I do like the fit. I think he's going to come in. He'll help where they need help most 5-on-5. I mean, I think he could help Zibanejad and Kreider. They're going to keep the two of them together. I mean, he had 40 points last year in only 76 games. I think he's going to get more top six minutes. He's probably brought in to be the top six winger, unless they have another option in mind. And you're welcome. I wish the other guys were on, but like I said, they're stuck on a plane right now. They're coming back from Vegas. Their flight got delayed yesterday. They were supposed to come back yesterday, so some unfortunate things happened there. If I'm on this stream long enough, maybe they'll join. I'm not sure what time they're getting back. I'll always text Anthony and see where they're at. But yeah, I mean, here. I'm with you on this. Shane Pinto would be excellent for the Rangers. Bring this kid back to New York. Send Capo Caco to Ottawa. Young change of scenery type trade for two different players. Let them. You know what? At least if Capo Caco develops into a star in Ottawa, you say you got a young player with a lot of potential backing him, and it's a change of scenery for both teams. I think it works perfectly for both teams. I really do. I think Ottawa needs a young winger. I think the Rangers could use a young center / winger. I do think that this would be a real good move. Sorry about that. But I do like the idea of Shane Pinto. I really do. So yeah, it's pretty good. Riley Smith. If that's a secondary move, and they're getting him to be a third line winger, let's just say, for example, and they have another idea in mind, whether it's like Nikolai Ehlers or someone else, I mean, that's good too. Yeah, Jacob Trouba needs to go. That's a big issue. They have to get that money off the books. They do. It has to happen, and he has to realize that he can't. He's not going to be here anymore. It's time. It's done with. You know, you're. But yeah, it has to happen. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that. What do I think of the Capitals and the Kraken? Well, let's bring some of these up because Seattle actually did really good. Seattle got Chandler Stevenson 7 years at $6.25 million per. It's actually a great signing. great signing by Seattle. He has center and wing flexibility, I believe left wing more so than right. I think he could actually possibly play all three positions, but I know that he's primarily played center and left wing. I really do like what I've seen with him. I think he's a great skater, great forechecker, is a capable top six center. He's probably better served as your second line center. At $6.25 million, you're not going to be paying him to be your third line center. And Seattle doesn't have great center depth as is. So he could be a good number two behind a hopefully further developing Matty Beniers. That would be a real good signing for him, or a real good revelation for them if he came out. But Seattle supporting their center depth down the middle with a guy who fits the style of play that they like to see to play so far for their first few years in the league. I think this is great for them. Washington goes and gets Matt Roy. I love that one. I absolutely love it. I think that 5.75 is a little expensive, but he addresses a major need for them. And then they just dealt Nick Jensen away to go get Jacob Chikrin, which I thought was a great move for them. I would have wanted the Rangers to send Lindgren the other way, but apparently Ottawa wanted right shot defenseman, not left shot defenseman. So that's big. Lyubushkin to Dallas for a 3.25 AAV. Chris T updating in the chat. Why would they trade Smith with a $5 million cap hit? Smith can play anywhere in the top nine. He really can. And that's why they did it. What's the Duclair for 3.5 for 4 years over 4 years? Yeah, it's not a bad signing. 3.5 for him. He brings in some speed. I think he fit, like if you put him on a line with Barzal and Horvat, I think you have a good scoring line. Duclair fits with the type of speed and play off the rush that they want to play with. I don't think he's a big needle mover. I think he's got 25 to 30 goal potential. He's not really a playoff player, but I mean they did need goal scoring. They do go get a piece that helps them. Chicago did well. They did pretty well. I liked what they did. They added a lot of guys. They added Teuvo Teravainen, Tyler Bertuzzi, Laurent Brossoit. Alec Martinez was another one they added. They went. Chicago is serious about surrounding Bedard with talent. So I do like what they're doing. No, that wasn't the comment that I actually wanted to. Sorry, be right. This was the comment. Smith trade is terrible. And you know what? He's a 40-point player with the ability to be more. He wasn't playing big minutes in Pittsburgh's lineup. So, I mean, he played 16 minutes a game in Pittsburgh's lineup. That's middle 6 minutes at most. And he was more of a penalty killer as well. So he comes in and does a lot of things. I'll comment some of these questions and star them so this way we can go back to them later. But the Hurricanes losing Shea, Pesce, and Gensel on top of their existing and Teravainen. Yeah. Smith is a big upgrade over Roslovic. Yeah, I do agree there. I do agree. The Rangers aren't terribly different right now, but it's early, and you don't know what they're going to do, but they at least have three competent right wingers as of this moment right now. You know, they only had two before; they have three now, and that's not counting what they do with Kaapo Kakko. What do they do with him? And Sean saying that he has a feeling the Rangers are going to make a big deal. Yeah. Kane's got Walker, Carrier, and Jost today. I think they took a big step back. I think they took a big step back. I honestly, I don't know how you can turn around and tell me, yeah, William Carey, but I don't know how you can make those subtractions and still think that they're a bad team. Yeah, Alex Carrier is a better carrier, um, but that's not 6 years, $2 million for William Carey. That's not bad. It's not terrible. He's not a bad player. Yeah, you know what? I know he's a left winger, but I wonder if the Rangers would look at Jeff Skinner. You'll probably be able to get him for cheap. TSN's board is projecting him at $3.5 million. And he can put up offense. Like if they can't go and make a big deal, maybe that's someone you bring in. Sam Carrick isn't a bad deal for the Rangers. It's fourth line center of $1 million. It's not bad. He's an upgrade over Gaudreau, slight one. You're not paying a $3.6 million fourth line center anymore. But Slavin took a nice extension in Carolina. I like his deal was, let's see here. He's saying 6 point. I think it was more than that. Could be wrong, but he got extended. 6.46. Yeah, 6.46 was. Scott Walker would have been a good pickup for the Rangers, but Jacob Trouba blocked that basically. I don't hear any. I haven't heard anything about Skinner yet. Haven't heard anything. Ilya Mikheyev's a good player. I mean, now with Riley Smith, I don't know if it makes any sense. I do like the player itself, but I really don't think he makes a ton of sense at this point now that they got Riley Smith. So I believe he has term left on his deal too. So I really don't think that he's gonna. Cap Friendly is still open, by the way. So for anybody who wants to use that. I think he was moved to Chicago, Mikheyev, I believe. Yeah. He's got 4.75 for 2 years left. Yeah, I don't see how Mikheyev can really do anything. I think it has to be that way. I think Trouba has to go. I don't know how you can come back from this. I don't know how you can come back from this as the team, as the player. I don't know how you can come back I don't know how you can come back from that. I just don't. I really don't. Natchez will get moved. He doesn't want to be there anymore. His father's basically confirmed it. He doesn't want to be there. Yeah, and this is it. I mean, it's going to get toxic with Trouba. Trouba was not good. No, and he lost a piece of his ankle, and then he came back from it and said he was healed by the time playoffs were through. He just was terrible in the playoffs. That was the Chicago one they had up. Toronto, look at what they did. Boston had a nice little day themselves with Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov. A little high on Lindholm. Zadorov was about what I expected that he would get. And then obviously Nashville stole the show today. 4 years, $8 million per for Stamkos. 5 years, 5.5 per for Marchessault and Brady Shea, which was I don't like that contract at all. $7 million per year for Brady Shea. Jesus, yikes. Yeah, and you're right. Trouba did himself. Yeah, I mean, we're coming up on really coming up on the best picks or return. This has got to be try to see what's going on here with the. Yeah, Tom, it's free agency. That's what happens. Players get overpaid. Yeah, Trouba has an agent. Kurt Overhart is his agent, and Kurt Overhart is. I don't know if it's him advising him, but I think Trouba needs to move on. I think they need to move on. Well, yeah, they used a chunk of space to sign Patrick Kane. You got to remember that they used $4 million on that. So. Let's see. Let's take a look at Detroit's cap situation here. Detroit still has $23.4 million in cap space. I don't know what really. I mean, the only thing with that is that they have only 4 forwards under contract. They have 6 defensemen under contract, though. I wonder if the holdup is trying. I mean, and then they have Mort Seider, who's an RFA. William Lageson's probably not going to really play at the NHL level. So they have a guy, but they're not high on Justin Hall. Maybe that's what they're looking to do. Maybe they're looking to get the Hall contract off the books, and that's really the holdup. So let's see what the 2027 second round pick and a 2025 conditional 5th round pick. It's not terrible for Riley Smith. I don't mind that. I think he could come in and help make a difference. That's really the question for me. Is Pittsburgh doing anything to retain here? Thank you, Rich. Appreciate it. Says the Rangers doing a good thing. Don't want to build for free agency. Want to have more flexibility. Yeah, I mean, a lot of commentary that I've seen is that fans want flexibility to go after somebody like Connor McDavid in 2 years, and I get it. But you just can't bank everything on that. You've got to be careful. Islanders did the same thing with Steven Stamkos 2 years back, and ended up costing them big time because they missed out. And he stayed with Tampa. This is back in 2016. Ooh, 25% of Pittsburgh. Okay. All right, even better. Okay. You're going to give up a second and you're going to get salary retention? Okay. I'm okay with that. I like it. Filk likes. Yes, he does. Let's see what that is now. So is he listed on? No, he's not listed on there yet. It's brand spanking new, so cap friendly. It hasn't gotten there yet. But yeah, let's see. Riley Smith, 1 year, $5 million. It's 25% of that. So we'll do a little math. 5 divided by 4, 1.25 retained. Okay. So 5 minus 1.25, 375. Yeah, 375. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. They obviously are trying to do something here. They're trying to add another player, if you ask me. What that tells me is that they're trying to add another top line winger. Riley Smith is probably going to be a third line winger. That's not bad. 3.75 for a third-line winger. Not bad at all. Other teams are getting better, yeah. Other teams are getting better. I do agree. So Goodrow, yeah, but Goodrow's money is better served with Riley Smith because Riley Smith is a far better player that can play on any one of your. I mean, if he's on your fourth line, you have a really good team. So Riley Smith is not likely to be a fourth line option. I think we can all agree on that. But you add him at 3.75 million. No, that's a great deal. No, I don't think I'm crazy at all. I think that they're going to add another winger. I don't think that's their main move. Devils did fix a lot of their problems. Yeah, I mean Pesci, Markstrom. They got Stefan Mason. That's good for them. Yeah, I could see that. Carolina definitely lost a bit. Yeah, I get it, but I don't think those signings are going to break the bank, especially Schneider. Schneider will get somewhere between 2 to 2.5 on a bridge deal, likely. Unless they want to go long-term with Schneider. Okay. It may end up happening. And if you get a top-line winger at 3.75 million and he's productive with those two, that's great. You know what that means? They have cap space for deadline deals. And they have cap space to pull off deadline deals earlier instead of playing salary cap wizard and trying to do all this creative crap for 2 months leading up to the deadline. Okay, cool. I'm cool with that. I don't know if Carolina wants to go older. I don't know if they want to do that. Yeah, New Jersey did do some work today. I listen. Jack Hughes' shoulder has to not blow up every time he gets hit. So that's really what it's going to come down to. I still don't think they have enough wing help. What do they have to do on defense? Yeah, they have to get rid of Trouba, and then they have to go from there. That's really it for the Rangers. Yeah, and you know what? I'm not worried about a President's Trophy. Obviously, it hasn't done shit. Last 2 times they won it, they lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. So that doesn't really do anything for me anymore. But you need to get to the dance. That's it. That's all you need to do. And if they can go get a real difference maker at the deadline, get into the dance, I don't know how Tarasenko helps this team. I don't. We've been there, done that. Why? He's worse than he was 2 years ago. I don't see what he does for this team. Don't see it. Yeah, I'm very happy that Gustafsson signed with the Wings. They couldn't afford to bring him back. He was terrible after December. Oh, he will get booed opening night if he's still on this roster. I'm telling you right now, he's going to get booed. And if I'm there, I'm booing the shit out of him. Yeah, wave him. That's it. Cutthroat. Out for blood. That's how it has to be. Look at Tampa Bay. Look at what Tampa Bay did. Tampa Bay told the best player in the history of their franchise, we're done with you. We don't want to give you the money that you think you're worth. Bye. And then went and signed the best fish on the free agent market. That's how you have to do it. It's a business. I don't care about Trouba's family. And I don't think the organization does. And I know that sounds cold-hearted, But it's a business. You knew what you signed up for when you signed that deal. That was on you to live up to that contract that you asked for. So if you're not going to do that, then you run the risk of being let go at some point and moved. Now that his trade protection has been diminished, things are opened up now. And now the Rangers could try to find a trade to a team that he doesn't want to go to. And this is what happened with Tampa Bay and Ryan McDonough 2 years ago, when Ryan McDonough got dealt to Nashville. Tampa Bay threatened him and said, we're going to waive you. And Columbus is going to probably pick you up because they were the worst team. And they would have picked him up. Oh, no, they have trade capital. Trust me. There's trade capital there, Michael Rotolo. They have enough. I didn't believe it until Brooks' article this morning. Brooks wouldn't say that he's out of here if he hadn't heard it from inside the organization. Yeah, Brooks is right. I don't care what anybody wants to say. You can talk about Molly Walker. You can talk about Colin Stevenson. You can talk about Arthur Staple. You can talk about Peter Bow. You can talk about Vince Mercogliano. Larry Brooks is the most connected to the organization. If he's hearing something like this, there's something up. It's just the truth. It doesn't matter if you like him or not. He is the man when it comes to the Rangers with inside information. He is. And hello to Mark and Anthony from the Tarmac in Chicago. I assume this is Mark right now on there. Good. They're waiting to go onto the plane. How long of a flight is it, Mark, from Chicago to New York? So, I think maybe like an hour and change or something like that. Maybe a little longer. Can't be that long because New York to Florida is like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So. This makes about 2 hours. Okay. It's a little longer than I thought it would be. Ilya Samsonov, 1-year deal with VGK. That's not a bad one. I have to log into my HF account. I can't believe this one thing isn't up right now. What is going on here? Why is this so annoying?
But you're right. In terms of the pressure that comes from playing in Canada, also the pressure that goes on these players. They're going to step up, right? Willie's got to step up in Toronto. Henderson's got to step up in Vancouver.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles reboot with Mark and Anthony and Mark would be a must-watch. Yeah, well, Mark is going to go offline in a little bit as well. Anthony has been logging in, and he's been doing things on his end because he's been logged into the Wi-Fi on the. Yeah, I know prayers were not answered. There's still time. There's still time. Yeah, well, Anthony did, so one of them did. Lomberg is $2.2 million 2 years with the Flames. Duran 1 year 2.5 with Avalanche. Just seeing some other ones that we haven't gone over yet. Joel Edmondson is one we haven't really talked about. LA, 4 years, $3.8 million. Seems like that's a lot for Joel Edmondson. Toffoli's deal is 4 years, $6 million per. Islanders re-signed Mike Riley for 1 year, 1.25. Dumba's deal, which I had down that he signed with Dallas but didn't have the terms, 2 years, 3.75. Garnet Hathaway, 2-year extension with Philly, $2.4 million per. Gustafson, 2 years, $2 million per. With Detroit. Travis Boyd signs at the Wild, 1 year, 7. That's kind of light for Travis Boyd. Thought he'd get a little more than that. Brendan Smith signs with the Stars. That just happened. So it looks like they're trying to get some more physical veteran defenders on the back end in Dallas. Buffalo signs Nicholas Aube-Kubel, which just happened, $1.5 million. Sabres just announced. Yakov Trenin earlier on, $3.5 million for 4 years. Nice bag for him. A little more than I thought he was going to get. I like Ottawa with David Perron, 2 years of $4 million. I still think he's got something that he can give you, even at his age. Brandon Duhaime for Washington was actually a really good signing. I wanted him in New York. I thought he would have been a real good fit for the Rangers. I rather would have had him than Carrick. Rather would have given him the 1.85 than Carrick the $1 million. But I don't mind Carrick at $1 million even. What do I think of Eric Brandstrom? No, he's not a bad player. He had such a high pedigree as a prospect. Everybody thought the world of him, and he just never really turned into the player that he should be. Ottawa actually did really good with Michael Amadio too. Like that was a good one for them. I wanted Amadio here. I thought he could have been a good third line winger. Chicago also got Craig Smith and Patrick Maroon, which is actually really good for them. Sam Lafferty with the Sabres. He was a guy I wanted last year as a trade deadline acquisition in Vancouver was to fall off, but yeah. Pretty cool for the New York PWHL team to select Sarah Fillier. Pretty good for her. Ooh, Matvey Michkov. He is coming over. Oh, man. He'll be up for the Calder this year, likely. Surprised that Jake DeBrusk got 7 years. I thought he would have gotten maybe 5 years. So. I don't blame anybody for preferring Duclair to Engvall. Engvall is a decent player, but should have never given him that type of money. Yeah, Firestorm. I thought that would be a player that they might end up being in on as a fallback option, but yeah, I thought that maybe he would sign elsewhere other than San Jose. That's really kind of an odd one for me.
people were surprised about with this league was the physicality. Now, us being around the hockey for a while, we weren't totally surprised by how rough the games got, but still, a lot of people were looking at you 30-goal scorer, Christian.
You know what, Jay? I mean, Skinner at that price would be great, but I think like the board is projecting him to get a little closer to 4. If he ends up being a low cost like type player, I mean, I would definitely take a flyer on him at that point if they needed a winger. I mean, tell you right now, he kills the Rangers, so it would be good to not have to face him at the very least. But you got to definitely watch with the term on him because he's 32 already. He will probably get like a 3-year deal. But 46 points last year was almost a 50% drop off from the year before, where he had 82 points and 35 goals. Like, this guy's a proven point producer when he wants to play. Former 40-goal scorer. Let's see. This comment. How about a small trade for Brandon Tanev out of Seattle? I like Brandon Tanev, but if I'm going after anybody on Seattle, I'm going after Gord. I want Gord, and I'm okay with sending Hedel back the other way. Yanni Gord would absolutely fit what the Rangers want to do. Yep, so.
It's extremely special. We're all very proud to be from Canada, to represent our country, and it's just a big deal. Thank you, ladies. The WHL free agency underway right now. Get you back to the free agent front to go with James.
Yeah, I don't know about Igor. That's going to be a tough one because if those demands are true, that's a big problem.
Sensational debut season for the league. And we'll look much more from those two as we go forward here. The free agent frenzy continues here on TSN. 2.5 hours into the period and approaching $1 billion spent so far. Harvey's believes if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I created Tarmac with a mission to put the spirit of mana and we bother repaint. Mana is found in early mornings, red wood, cow stands, brick ovens, and handmade copper pot stones. Mana is good energy and a spirit of gratitude. And while you may not be able to see the mana, you can definitely taste it. The difference between the good tequila and
yeah, I mean, this is it. It's tough to build teams around goaltenders with double-digit figures. Like, look at Florida. Look at what Florida just had to lose Montour because of that contract of Bobrovsky. You know, I can't say that nothing's changed. I think Riley Smith is definitely a playoff player. That's definitely somebody that I like. I think he's a good player. And I think that he'll come in and he'll help this team out. It's definitely somebody that I'd rather have on my team than face in a playoff run. I'm not saying that he is an all-time great. I mean, he did win a Stanley Cup with Vegas. He had 14 points in 22 games. I mean, then in 2018, he had 22 points in 20 games to their Stanley Cup Finals run. Like, he can put up some points in playoffs. 79 points in 106 games, not bad for a guy who's more so a second-line winger than a top-line winger. But, you know. I don't know about the Devils jumping ahead. I don't. Like, what are you getting from Markstrom? Are you Markstrom is leap year. Every other year he seems to do something. What Markstrom are you getting? Are you getting 2022 or are you getting 2023? I mean, I look at the Devils team and I don't see it an amazing team. Hamilton has to stay healthy. Hughes has to stay healthy. Like their guys are kind of injury prone. So there's Meyer, Hughes, Brad, Heischer, Palat. And then after that, it's kind of meh. Dawson Mercer's not under contract yet. Are they moving him? Okay. Are they moving him? Okay. Pesci, Dylan, Siegenthaler, Luke Hughes, Simone Nemec, and Hamilton. And you have Curtis McDermott as a 7 that they're going to put in. They're probably going to put in when the Rangers play the Devils because they're going to have somebody go after Renty.
I always like to take pride in the fact we think the free frenzy is the best free to show up there. We second that, so maybe I have that over wrong. Is the one that Bar Down guys put on YouTube at the same time.
Anaheim could be, yeah. Panarin stayed healthy though. Like, when has Panarin missed significant time? I don't see how you can say that. It's just not. It's factually not true. It's just not. Yes, Markstrom is better than Schmidt and Vanacek. That's not. The bar is low there. The bar is low there. So. Yeah, and this really it. It's that the last time he missed anything was twice in that 2021 season because he had to go make sure that his family wasn't going to get killed after supporting Alexei Navalny, and then the Tom Wilson incident. And that was towards the end of the year. No, he didn't insult Putin. He supported Navalny. That's the thing. Didn't say anything bad about Putin. He supported somebody that Putin had locked up. The Rangers are a deeper scoring team than the Devils. I can tell you that right now. I don't even have to go into much of an argument. Outside of their top 6, what scares you? Eric Halla? Stefan Nason? Come on. Give me a break. Yeah, the Capitals made improvements. They did. And the Devils aren't a playoff-built team. They're not. They're just not.
Well, right now we got teamed up. I mean, there's a lot of Euros that we're doing. I know you've been a part of that as well. But, I mean, outside for hockey, we just did some of that. We're going to shoot. I don't know if Coleman's going to have that out, but we had a fun
little bar down podcast right now. Looks like Jesse Pollock has the NHL All-Star jersey from like 92, 93 on without the patch. It's pretty cool.
Boys, always a pleasure to talk to you. Enjoy your coffee for a second. Enjoy the rest of your day over. Thanks for seeing me. Glad you made it home, Jesse. Sorry about your jet set.
Yeah, Holtz's problem is his skating. Great shot. Can score goals, but his skating is just not good enough. And the other problem with Holtz is that he was the lesser of the duo. Everybody talks about how Henriksen was the third wheel on that line with Holtz and Raymond. Raymond was really the guy on that line. Just like with the Aho, Puljärvi, line at the 2016 World Juniors. That won for Finland. Aho was really the motor on that line.
some players that play with a little more meat. And Jordan Margrove is one of those players that comes to mind. Edmonton native. He gets a little bit of a pay bump. He's going to go up now to.
So Nason's deals 3 years, 2.75. Jordan Martinook re-signs with Carolina, 3 years, $3 million. That must have just happened. I didn't hear about that. TJ Brody's still out there. Capo Kaukonen's still out there. Ooh, that would be a big pickup for the Rangers, if you ask me. Matthias Janmark has center and wing capability, can play anywhere in their bottom six. Good penalty killer, has scored timely goals throughout his playoff career. I would definitely like Matthias Janmark. Well, we'll see what happens with PLD. He's talented and he can put up points. We've seen that. He's multi-time 60-point scorer. Yeah, I'm surprised that Winnipeg hasn't really done anything. That's a team that I thought would be a little more aggressive today. Surprised San Jose went and got to Foley. But then again, they're probably going to bring Macklin Celebrini in, so they probably wanted something for him to work with. Scott Walker to Carolina is not a bad ad. Warren Fogle would have been nice for the Rangers if they could have gotten him. Adam Henrique is still available. Vladimir Tarasenko still available. Shane Gostisbehere still available. Ryan Suter, I would stay the hell away from. Still available. Alexander Carrier. That's a good pickup. Right defense. He's still available. I know people like Daniel Sprong. He's still available. Oh, look, Jack Roslovic is still available. Woof. Yeah, Winnipeg lost 4 major pieces off their roster. That's insane.
You'd still take where they are now as to where they were a year ago, where they're now doing a rebuild.
Corey Perry, I believe, is available. I don't think he's under contract right now. No, yeah, he's a free agent. But we're not sure if he's going to retire or not. I mean, he had 22 points in 54 games. It's not bad. Yeah, Perry, the idea is to win the cup. I understand that's one. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'm listening to Mike Johnson talk about Winnipeg right now on the TSN stream. Yeah, McGroarty. That's another thing that Winnipeg's got to worry about right now. Beauvillier to Pittsburgh, 1 year, 1.25. Not a bad signing for them. 1 year. Trouba's probably going to be gone. Yeah, he's probably going. It's just a matter of when. I think at this point, how and if it's a trade, what comes back and what is being retained. I think that's what we're looking at.
It's a lot more on the player's mind than it was, where it was just anywhere in the NHL. I'm going to go Jeff O'Neill at the peak of his career came back to Canada. The peak, right? Played for Maple and not one complaint. We can play with history a little bit. You're mentoring young players.
This is a good question. We have to look at the cap for each one of them. Really go down it, but
Sam Reinhart might have had the best contract year of any NHL player in recent memory. He scored his first 57 goals, and his previous high was 33. He led the entire NHL in shooting percentage last season, scoring
24.5%.
That's over 10 points better than his career shooting percentage of just under 14%. Not only did Reinhart jump from 67 points to 91, he also scored the games in the ball in Game 7 of the Cup final. So when you look at the underlying numbers, how did it all come together for Reinhart, and why did it make sense for him to re-sign in Florida when he probably
actually, it's a good question about Backstrom. I think they're projected. They're still over by $4 million without that, apparently. So his 9.2, yeah. So if you look in cap friendly, projected cap space negative $14,081,667. The cap space with LTIR candidates negative $4,881,667. So yeah, they're still over by $4 million without the without Backstrom once he goes to LTIR. You'd imagine they're probably going to try to move somebody. They have 13 forwards on there. I would take Nick Dowd from them in a heartbeat. And they just signed Taylor Radish as well. Alexei Protas is going nowhere. Dylan Strom's going nowhere. But they also have, it's also another thing with Oshie as well. So Oshie, there's word that he might retire or he might not be able to play next season, I should say. So if he can't play next year, then that's really that's a big thing for them, because that clears up almost $6 million in cap space, and that'll put them under by about like $2 million in change, I believe. Why does Drury have to go? I don't understand this. I think that's more like an emotional overreaction type post, type comment. I don't understand. So. Yeah, they can afford it right now. The Rangers can absolutely afford to pick up a defenseman right now. And I think that's even if they keep on to Trouba. They can afford to pick somebody up. Yeah, they have $8 million worth of cap space right now. The Rangers. That's with Riley Smith's 3.75. Sam Carrick added. I imagine Capo Caco is probably not going to be on this opening night roster. How is he incompetent? I wanna know that. I think you're overreacting to a bad day of free agency. What was he supposed to do? I don't think the Rangers would get back much for Trouba. I wonder how much they have to retain to move him. You're really worshiping Tom Fitzgerald over the things he's done? Okay. You go worship Tom Fitzgerald. I don't know what to tell you there, but I don't think Jersey really hasn't done a whole lot to get a hell of a lot better. They lost scoring. They added Brendan Dillon and Brett Pesce. Okay, Brett Pesce has to stay healthy. Dillon has to stay out of the penalty box. No, I wouldn't trade for Vucinovic. It's time for people to move on from that. Sure, yeah. I mean that is fair. That first wave of moves didn't work out, but yeah, it happens. What is going on with this TSN broadcast right now?
He's not wrong. Embarrassing mistake might be. Here is Stephen Caldwell, who they have to do a Kevin.
Now they're talking about soccer on TSN. What is going on right now? That's weird.
It's so good on football.
So weird.
So I need your analysis of the stand post leaving Tampa and going to Nashville.
I'm probably not going to stay on for too much longer. I do have things that I've got to take care of today, but I did want to do a stream to kind of just go over some of these things and talk about some things. But yeah, I can't do the stream that I did last year. I have other stuff going on. So, but yeah, this is. I know it's an interesting day. I know that they didn't. I don't know what you're. I'm guessing you're talking about Jack and Luke Hughes, Davey. Yeah, we talked about Shane Pinto before, Anthony. I think he is on the block. I think Capo Caco to Ottawa just makes a ton of sense at this point for Shane Pinto. I think it's two players that are around the same age, have relatively close in production. I definitely think that it would be a good trade for both teams, both young guys. Pinto was drafted in the same draft, so same year, second round as opposed to first round. When you can go get a guy that it's a right-handed, center shot with size, it's a better skater. He scored a couple more goals in 2023 than Capo Caco. I think the value is closer than you think. It's definitely closer than you think. Jury's definitely. See, I love these types of posts. It's July 1st. Let's calm down. Let's step back from the ledge. I wish you could step back from that ledge, my friend. You could Cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in. Yeah, I think you all need to play Jumper by Third Eye Blind, like right about now. Just so many overreactions. After one day of free, day's not even over yet. Like, it's like, relax. Like, you guys are freaking out over here. Oh, yeah, Evan is a serial overreactor. I love Evan, but he's a serial overreactor. Yeah, it isn't bad enough. I know. Here, cry more. I mean, I could sing and make you cry more, but. And if you don't want to see Trouba again, I will understand. Oh, yes. That'd be great. That sounds like a Mark doing "We Didn't Start the Fire" type edit. Oh, amazing. Here's my crack pipe dream. Trouba and Kako, and a first to Anaheim for Zegras and Vetrano. Oh my God. I don't want anything to do with Trevor Zegras. I don't. I just don't see how he. Like, you wanted to get rid of softer players and change the culture. And then you want to bring in Zegras? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't see it. He can't be much weight. Zegras doesn't. Zegras, if he could play in a circular rink, Zegras would. There are many Knicks fans panicking. Yeah, I get it over Hardenstein. I get it. That sucks, but nothing the Knicks could do. Riley Smith is a good pickup. I think it's a good pickup, especially at $3.75 million. It's a good pickup. Speaking of Mark Williams, we're somewhere about 20,000 feet outside of Chicago. He's going to parachute out of the plane if the Rangers make a trade. Kako Hedel two first for Leon Draisaitl. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, the extension is the cap now is not the problem. It's the extension that's going to be the real issue. If I could get Adam Henrique for 2.75 on a third line, it's not bad. Mark Williams is not allowed to jump out of a plane prior to November 9th, 2024. Oh my God, that's great. Oh, that's incredible. Oh man, that's amazing. I don't think Daniel Sprong is a needle mover. I just don't. I've seen people bring his name up over the last year or so. I don't see it.
Listen, the end good, right? Look good, feel good, play good. We love this country. We love this team. Let's take a look at our team. What do we like?
I would imagine they would probably go for Ehlers or Pinto.
And what we have down the middle is the best 1, 2, 3 punch in hockey history. McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby.
Oh yeah, that Team Canada depth is just insane forward.
To these three down the middle. So that's where we start. You gotta love the
Their defense is kind of meh,
That's deep pairing.
and their goaltending is dog shit. Oh man, their goaltending is so bad. Skinner, Binnington, and Aiden Hill. You have Taza, McCarr, Morrissey, and Bouchard.
Okay, let me reiterate what my partner just said here. We have the best 1, 2, 3 up the middle in hockey history. McDavid,
Yeah.
McKinnon, Sid. I don't want to interrupt. I don't want to interrupt you. I know I'm sorry to the top.
Blake Lazar wouldn't be a terrible bottom six piece. I feel like I would rather give a young kid a chance though than Lazat. Like he's not a bad player, but I think Brett Berard can be what Blake Lazat is. Yeah, Sprong is not a bad player, but he's not a needle mover. Not a needle mover.
Also, these are great teams. We can seniors yet and get to that momentarily. I'm sure it's a great team. Finland will be great. Sweden will be great. But it's thin margins. And thin margins are determined by great.
Offman, Brendan Offman, I don't know. It might be tough. It seems like next year is going to be a year where they're going for it. So I don't know if they're going to give the kids chances unless they just absolutely just force the team's hand.
I mean, it's so easy. We got to go. Obviously, yes, they got three really good players. Okay, David, right?
It's not necessarily the locker room, James, that I worry about. It's it's not the locker room I worry about. It's him and it's the fans. I think he would get a lot of the brunt of blowback from fans. I think they would boo him. Knowing what's happening, I think they would boo him. Trouba's got to go. That's what it comes down to. I'm going to do about 5 more minutes, guys. He's got to go. You do realize it's July 1st, right? You don't know how many moves can be made between July 1st and April, whatever it, or March, whatever it is, the next trade deadline. Like you do realize that, right? I just want you to step back and I want you to breathe for a second. I want you to breathe. Because I really think that you're close to having a panic attack. Like, if they don't go out and spend all of this cap space, that means that they have the ability to make trades mid-season, and they're going to be comfortable in doing so because they're going to have the ability to take those moves on. Yeah, I wanted March or so too, but you know what? Didn't happen. They haven't done anything. Likely what they're doing is trying to get Trouba out the door first, and then they can make a deal. Like, let's relax. Yes, Adam Fox is going to bounce back. I think we all need to stop worrying about Adam Fox. He played on a slightly torn MCL.
Stuart Skinner just lost Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Jordan Binnington's won a cup. Ian Hills won a cup. These guys excel in the games. Connor Hellmark has 2 Vezinas. I mean, how good is he going to be? Andre Taylor doesn't want to stand the cup either, by the way. Lost in Game 7. Unfortunately, we have to put a stop to this, Mr. Button. We have Benedict's final comment on Team USA. Listen, we got a team like and Quinn Hughes can match up with McCarr. We got the size, we got the skate. We got Larkin, and we got Eichel. We can skate with those great skaters and shut them down. Okay. Mr. Hayes, 15 seconds. I'd like to first begin by thanking you for your professionalism. I appreciate that. We weren't sure if we were going to get a fair fight here. You supplied that to us. I'd like to
You know, and this is the thing. It's July 1st. It's day one. Day one. They're trying to figure out likely what's going to happen with Trouba, and then they go from there.
And guess what's going to happen next February? That'll become 10-1, and the February after that, 11-1, because Canada's taking this home. Fight drop. Mr. Deputy, these are pretty compelling marks to end this from Mr. Hayes. I'd like to send it to you to decide a winner with the panel. Well,
So
the winner is the moderator.
I am going to pack this up. I do apologize. I do have some things I have to do today. So yes, thank you all for jumping on. We will be on Wednesday. Hopefully there's some more news by Wednesday. Pesci signed with Jersey, so can't really do that. This could be a thing too. This could be a thing as well. I mean, they could be worrying about Igor and trying to get that taken care of. But yes, thank you all for joining. Appreciate that. Join us Wednesday for our normal show. It's day one. Relax, everybody. It's day one. It's not the day that many wanted, but I think there's a plan in place. I trust it. I wish Anthony and Mark would have been on. Would have been a little more of a more talkative post, but I also do try to listen into what they're saying. So hence the kind of silence at times. So trying to see what they're saying. But thank you all for joining. Appreciate that. Take care. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. We will see you all on Wednesday.